Greetings, brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ. I want to talk about sober livings and clear up what they are and what they aren't. A lot of people don't realize this, but when I was first publishing my first book, I went to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor. I love the whole thing of going to school and studying it and learning how to, help people the way that they teach you to from like a doctor, psychiatrist perspective. They sent me out to intern. And that's where I abandoned the profession. The place they happened to send me to, as far as I could say, is it's really dirty because they were like helping people stay on drugs. And they were just the legal kind. I got there and there was like, it was gross. And this guy, he was being given Oxycontin, fentanyl. He's just given all kinds of downers. And it was like, how is this recovery? And that was my first view of it. And I've heard of other situations where it's like that. So I got out. I said, I don't want that attached to my name. I kept publishing books. By now I've published 70 books. By now I have a lot of fruit from that. By now all I do is write about Jesus Christ and that you can break every addiction by faith in him, and every wrong mindset that held you in that I need drugs or I need a head change. I can break that because he paid it all. And the more I learn about the Bible, the more I can speak it forward, and I speak that into other people, and it defeats the enemy. And that's what I do now. And so I own a sober living. It's, I rent to sober people. Let's just say that. I mentor them, I disciple them. And there was something in the Orange County Register that said sober livings in the same breath as human trafficking. And I've seen other stuff online. So I want to clear up what a detox is, what a recovery house is, and what a sober living house is. My friend has created 2 detoxes. And what they are is basically hospitals. They're the hospital level. So let's say your son or your daughter comes in off heroin and she's just finally going to get rescued and saved. Well, the problem with some of these detoxes are, and some of them are good and some of them are bad, is a lot of times they will just replace the heroin for something similar to the heroin. And so they'll just sit there for 2 weeks, watch movies, eat as much as they want, and then get sent somewhere else. Now, not all of them are like that. My friend, he created one, and he doesn't like, the psychiatrists and doctors trying to get everybody on medications. See, the problem with the medication thing is now you can do the human trafficking. Once they have all these things and they're labeled all this dual diagnosis and they're labeled all that, it's a lot easier to keep them insured and to keep them bouncing around, and all you have to do is like traffic them. And so that's the that's the dark side of recovery. The good side of recovery will be a good detox where they don't want you to just jump in and immediately say that you're bipolar or that you have major anxiety and that you need all these downers or benzos and whatnot. They will try to get you to be sober and actually suffer through things on life's terms and deal with thoughts and emotions that you've always got high over. And they will try to, encourage you, teach you, and lead you into the next level from the detox. Those are usually 2 weeks. The next level will be like a treatment center. They could be up to 6 months. Most of them are like 90 days. Some of them are less. Now, these places are really structured and they have good and bad also. But this is where the person in sobriety has to actually like learn how to cope sober. So if they have all those pharmacopoeia, those drugs still going, they tend to isolate. They tend to kind of still want to go back to their original drug and party the way they used to do. So they're really not really 100% in recovery. And those are the higher failure rates. The ones that usually make it are the ones that are out there, out and about with this new hope. They're sharing at churches, they're sharing in meetings, and they're completely sober-minded, and they're saying, look, it's possible. And then they hear other people going through life situations, and they feel less alone. And those are the guys that make it. And then they finally get to a place that's a sober living. So the sober living is the furthest thing away from the $1,000 a day detox, the up to $500 to $1,000 a day treatment centers that are 6 to 9 months. The sober living is like $30 a day. It's like just renting somewhere so that you have a tribe of sober people where you have some rules, you have some regulations. Now mine has attracted ex-gang members, prisoners, because, my past has been there. So, that's just kind of what came toward me, and I mentor them. So this is the hardest part of it, is mentoring them in recovery at a sober living arm. So it has nothing to do with human trafficking. The other arms of it would have more of a problem. But the main problem that I see is the pharmacia, because all the medicines that they keep these people on, that's where the failure rate is the worst. They never really get clear and sober-minded. And so they never really find out what it's like to have to grapple through life sober and then make it through those uncomfortable stages of, oh my God, I can actually make it. I can make it. He's making it. She's making it. And that's what I see fruit from when people actually get through that. Once they get like a year under their belt, 2 years. For me, I speak Jesus Christ. He's rescued me from everything. That's all I write about now. I speak that any of the wrong mindsets were attached to the devil, and that when you speak the victory forward into other people, you're taking territory back from the devil. So that's what I do. And what I've noticed with the prescription drugs is people isolate, and they also like to keep blaming the finger. Like I've literally had people say that you're for profit, you suck, you're a con artist. They claim all kinds of bad stuff about me when I'm sitting here going, I pay more than you to have to deal with this, to keep this place going. So there's usually a lot of finger pointing and you're the bad guy, you're the shamer, and you're all that when they're still on pharmacia, whether it's Adderall, whether it's Xanax, whether it's the heroines, the Oxycontins, the fentanyls. Those kinds of things are the ones where they just stay in anger and frustration and point the finger at everybody else. That's my experience in this field. So I just